Hey everyone, we are back. I am Chris. This is my friend Stephanie Myded.
Hello and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I mean,
Yeah,
chances are by the time this is released, it won't be Thanksgiving, but maybe it will be.
yeah.
Uh,
I'll
and also I
try
think
my
it's
best.
I also think it's Hanukkah today, the start of Hanukkah. I'm like a terrible half Jew. Not really.
I say oy vey, that's like the
Yeah, I
extent of
know.
my Jewishness.
I know. Like I eat gefilte fish and like matzah and like Cat Stevens. That's kind of the extent of me.
Cat Stevens.
Or I
Oh,
mean, Yusef Islam or whatever his new name is. You
what?
know. No,
I
like
missed that. I missed
He,
that.
like no, like years ago, like he changed his name to like Yosef or Yusef Islam or something.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like got super religious and stuff, but
The
like he
more
still
you
sings
know.
folk songs.
The more
Yeah,
you know.
the more you know. There's something I actually really want to know about. There's something. While we're recording this, we're Skyping because we're super advanced like that.
Yeah.
Um, and in the back of his house, I have never been in this room, and all I see is there's a cutout of a woman with like a black bob cut, like a
Oh.
skinny, like white woman, kind of like posing like she's gonna like put you in a headlock. And I'm really curious because I just see his face, and then I just see this like muscular woman like seducing me from behind. And I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious what the story is.
Um,
We should
so
probably post a picture of her
I definitely
to
will.
accompany this.
I will post a picture of the cardboard cutout in question. Um, so a few months back, my dad came up to me. He's had this cutout for years. This is a old Camel cigarette promotional cardboard cutout. I believe the woman in question is supposed to be Cleopatra. I
She,
think.
I thought she was like a motorcycle like wrestler babe. Like
Motorcycle. She's in a blue dress.
it looks like it's like black, like a black leather dress, and like she has black leather gloves. I could be totally wrong. I see like kind of like
No, no.
Triforce patterns on her, but
Yeah, like they're all right. So like, her hands are not existent on this cardboard cutout because
yeah.
there's like a little tray that detaches from it.
Oh, I thought she was like doing the like Hulk Hogan, like grr,
Yeah.
flexing my muscles.
No, but so like my dad's had this I think since before I was born. So he's had this 20 plus years. So I'm 21. 21 plus years.
Did he like win it in like a contest like the dad from Christmas Story?
I don't even know. Like my dad
I'd
just
like
has the weirdest shit. You know, like
yeah.
for those of you who don't know what my dad is like, if you walk into our garage, there's like Edelbrock intake logos. There's a Dodge Challenger poster everywhere. Like it is like the essence of manliness until you get right next to the garage door, and there is a poster of Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker in Failure to Launch because
Yep.
that's like his favorite movie.
He's a softie. He also likes HGTV.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus. That's another story for another day.
Yep. His
Um.
dad's a treasure,
Yeah.
a
But
national
so a
treasure.
few months back, he comes over and he just gives me this cardboard cutout and says, "Yeah, you've been single for about 8 months now. Here you go." You
I
son of
do.
a
She's
bitch.
she's looking pretty good. I mean, nice. I'd like dress her up seasonally. Like I'd put her in a little
A
Christmas
little
hat.
scarf. Well, let's
Should put
see.
a little
Fuck.
menorah in her hand.
The fuck. Do I have something I could? Ah, shit. Oh, I know something that would work. Hold on. This is seasonal enough.
Oh God. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Now she is Ash Ketchum.
She's a Pokemon master and Cleopatra and a wrestling babe.
Oh,
So it
definitely is.
sounds like my kind of woman. It's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
all the things I look for
Wait,
in
wait, wait,
people.
wait, wait. Actually, right now, we will hold a contest on our Facebook page to determine what we're gonna name her.
That sounds like a great idea. So we're gonna post a picture of our lovely lady. She's gonna be like kind of like the Howard Stern girl, like who's always just there being sexy.
Yeah.
We need a name for her because we don't know what to call her.
Well, what
And
should the winner get?
um, hmm, that's that's a good question. I mean, we're both artists. Maybe we could draw things, or maybe we could give you a shout out.
Shout out, yeah.
A
Yeah,
shout
why
out
don't
of a drawing. I
What?
could describe your drawing to you
Yeah.
over the podcast.
We'll draw you a picture, but you don't get the drawing. We just describe it to you.
Yeah. No, it's a really good process. It's a drawing for the senses.
Yeah.
It's not just for your eyes, it's for your ears.
But I think that is a good idea. Winner will get a drawing from both the ever so talented Stephanie Maiden and the mildly talented me.
Mildly. Push.
Push. Are you Dale from
Yes.
King of the Hill? Just like
You don't know how bad I wish. You don't even know how bad I wish.
you don't know how bad I wish. Because I could just bust out Hank Hill whenever.
Oh no, this man's Hank Hill is amazing.
Oh god. You want me
You
to
gotta
say?
Yeah, you gotta give us a sample now. You can't just like fess up to it and then not
All
do
right,
it.
what do I say? What do I say?
I don't know. Say something Hank Hill would say. Like if I was talking to Hank Hill, if I was interviewing Hank Hill on this podcast, what would you be saying right now?
Okay. Actually, no. I'm gonna quote one of my favorite parodies of Hank Hill.
Oh God.
Water free.
Water free.
Oh,
Ugh.
dang it, you son of a bitch! I'm gonna kick your ass.
Thanks for coming on the show, Hank. We get high profile celebrities only.
Oh God, yeah. We should get like I don't know, your mom, cause she's like a wonderful lady. She should guest star on our show.
We could have like if it was a Mother's Day episode, we could interview my mom.
My God, what if just for Mother's Day we just have our moms
Have our
do
moms run
our
the show.
podcast
Half
for
the
us?
podcast would be like, "Where is she? Can she see me? What's the green button mean?"
Oh God. Actually, funny story. I had a wonderful time explaining to my mom what Kickstarter was the other day.
Oh God, no! I've been explaining that to my mom too. I'm not even shitting you.
Like, because I bought a book, wonderful book, Masters of Anatomy. I invested in that. It's
a hella
so
good
good.
book.
It's gonna be out sometime next year, and you just have like these huge industry names teaching you like their style of anatomy. And I bought this thing, and she was just like, "So people just give money to you? What if you just don't make what you promise? What if they don't make that, Christopher John? Then what? You'll be out $70." Like, oh God.
That happened with one of the dudes from Animal Collective. He started a Kickstarter years ago, and he never fessed up on like his like promo gifts or whatever the fuck they're called.
But why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, I know.
It's like fucking Animal Collective. Of course it is. Who's the band that does that? Animal Collective.
Animal Collective. Well, it was only one of them, and it's the one who constantly leaves them. So, I love you, Deacon. But
Is he like the Lars of that band? The Lars Ulrich?
kind of. He's kind of like the Lars Ulrich. He's just kind of.
But
I don't know.
Can he actually drum?
He's not a drummer. He's just kind of the guy that has the deep voice.
I bet you he
It's
can drum better than Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, that's very true. But God, I was gonna say something.
Oh, yeah. So, actually, I saw something on my news feed, and I feel this needs to be addressed because you posted about going to see Frozen, and for weeks, probably even closer to like a month or two, I've been seeing people rage about this fucking movie. And then all of a sudden, like, you and two other people I've seen are just awestruck at how, like, family friendly and adorable this movie is, can you please explain to me what the hell happened?
So basically, to catch people up to speed if they don't go on Tumblr and just feed into the hate machine that is Tumblr. So Tumblr has kind of this effect of getting mad about everything, and it's one of those things where I'm all for like free speech and fighting for like equal rights and sticking up for the little guy, but
Definitely.
Tumblr likes to take it to a level where they're just kind of yelling. They're just kind of yelling at everyone right now.
Yeah.
You could be like, "Oh, the other day I went skateboarding with my best friend," and they'd be like, "Does your best friend know you address her as your best friend?" Because that's kind of misogynist that you would just assume that because she's a girl she would go skateboarding, but she wouldn't go skateboarding with you. Like it's just like they blow into these things that have nothing to do with anything.
To skateboarding.
And it's one of those things where this is what happened with Frozen is there was a comment made by one of the animators on the project a few months ago where he was talking about keeping the characters on model. But the way he worded it, I will say it, he kind of should have worded his choice better because if you read it rationally, you're like, oh, okay. He's talking about the fact that he works at Disney. Disney has an aesthetic. It's very cute. It's very pretty. Everything is good looking all the time. You can't deny that. Even when it's ugly, it's good looking. And he's talking about the fact that the two leads in Frozen, Anna and Elsa, they're two very pretty characters. And he said it's hard to keep them on model because they go through these range of emotions, and it's kind of hard to keep them pretty when they're going through like a different range of emotions, and some of them are darker. And
definitely.
This was misread as female characters are bad because they're emotional and they always have to be pretty, which the way he worded it, I'm like, he kind of picked those words where they're like hotbed words for Tumblr. If you put like girl and beautiful in a sentence, they're like beauty standards. Like you could just like, I could be
just
like
tables are being flipped.
Oh yeah, no, I could literally just be like, say just random words, but have those two words in them. I could be like, girls, peanut butter, beauty. And they just be like, really? You expect girls to? Are you saying girls want to be chunky or smooth? Because I love them if they're chunky or they're smooth, or if they have nuts, I don't care. I love them because I am not an asshole. Bam. Yeah. And then there's like a Sherlock gif somewhere in there, like fucking Supernatural.
Or Sherlock, Supernatural, or Tom Hiddleston. That is all of the gifs.
They're all lovely things, but after a while, I'm like, come on, Tom, get real. But
actually, I'm a little scared to share this little piece of information I have because I consider myself a humanist. I consider that we should all work to build a world where we wouldn't know who or what we would be going into it. I mean, if you want to take like a very basic cookie cutter system of my belief, that's what it is. That being said, I'm afraid this might piss everyone off, but I'm going to share it. I named my phallus the patriarchy, and there's a reason for it. Because it fucks everyone.
Okay, everybody, that's our show.
And
next week you'll find out what I call my vagina. No,
yes.
Anyway,
after that little side note.
Yeah, after that side note. But anyway, so there was that big hoopla about people not wanting to go see Frozen because there's they basically, based off that one animator's comment, they're like, oh, it's misogynistic, it's awful, everything about it is terrible. And it also kind of got the riff of these are people who did Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph, and it basically, Anna looks like Rapunzel but with like shorter hair, and once I watched the movie, I actually differentiated her a lot from Rapunzel. I mean, it's still Disney, so they're all kind of big-headed, googly-eyed cuties. Like, everyone is just kind of really adorable. Like, even the bad guy, I'm like, oh, you're so cute. But, like, whatever. The movie is beautiful. It is gorgeous. Like blows out pretty much visual wise out of any
Mhm.
Disney movie coming out in recent time. It's the most beautiful by far. Like the scenery alone, the ice and the light shining through is like gorgeous. Um, but like this movie has come under attack for just so many reasons, and also Olaf the Snowman. Because let's face it, like everyone kind of hates like the little pipsqueak sidekick who's just zinging out
Oh,
one-liners.
ex- except I think the exception to that rule, for me at least, was Sarah Silverman's character in Wreck It Ralph.
Vanellope, I love her.
Vanellope was amazing. I mean that entire movie was just phenomenal. That
I
is,
actually just watched that again tonight. After
oh my
I saw
god.
Frozen, I was like going home and
I
watching.
can I
Oh,
cannot watch that end scene without crying. Like that is
oh my
just
god.
like
Uh,
God when he's falling and he's just like it's just he's doing the oath, the bad guys
yeah,
anonymous oath. I'm like, oh,
I
so
bet.
that it's like I can handle it all the way up to there's no one I'd rather be but me.
Oh yeah, and then it's like slow motion as
Just
he's falling into the Mentos. Ugh.
god
But
damn it.
like, but that's the thing is like Disney, like their 3D department is like slowly just like climbing up there for me. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, but with the exception of planes,
Oh
um, like
fuck.
the past like Wreck It Ralph and Tangled. Tangled I didn't like as much at first, but it grew on me the more I watched it.
Mhm.
But I kind of feel they're coming into their own. And with Wreck It Ralph, when I saw the commercial, I was like, Penelope looks annoying. She looks, and this is what same with Olaf the Snowman. I was like, they're the fucking annoying. Like I'm trying to be really funny, but I'm not. And then, but I almost feels like the way they cut the trailer is like they took the least funny lines of these characters and just threw them in. Because when Olaf was in the actual movie, he had lines that had me like in stitches and that
Oh
like were
Jesus.
legitimately funny. Like it wasn't just like, oh, he's kind of cute, whatever. Like he actually had like legitimate hilarious lines, and like the movie was more enjoyable for having him there. I can't say that he's one of the greatest character designs Disney has come up with. His head kind of confuses me because
That
like I
carrot nose. That nose. I think that's what does it for me. Like get rid of that nose and I replace it with something a little more practical. I feel I might actually enjoy his design a little more.
totally, he kind of reminds me of like Sid the Sloth from like Ice Age, but without the lisp. Like he's kind of that same character, but
Mhm.
like kind of just like the silly, not like nerdy,
Not
but
John Leguizamo's
know.
incredibly talented voice acting that
Yeah,
just saves the fucking day.
saves everyone. But like I said, it was one of those things where Frozen really surprised me because it was gorgeous. Uh, the songs were really good. I still feel Disney kind of needs to. The first half of the movie is just jam packed with songs, and some of them are amazing. Some of them are so fun and so awesome. The song Elsa sings when she's making her ice castle is like gorgeous, but like there's some songs where I'm like, there didn't need to be a song here because there was literally like 3 minutes in between certain songs, and I'm like, they didn't need to sing about this. This could have just chilled, but
Oh
ha,
jeez.
chilled. Get it? Frozen.
I'm
Ah,
actually reminded of the Les Mis parody that Key and Peele did.
oh god.
Would you stop interrupting me one
If
at a time?
if you, I'm just gonna say this to our viewers because I feel like Key and Peele is one of those shows. It's successful enough to where they've given it more seasons, but it is such a good sketch show. Like if you want legitimately amazing sketch
Oh my
comedy,
god.
it is the best. Like
Go
it's on there with SNL. It's kicking SNL's ass personally to
Jeez,
me.
look, first of all, this is the best sketch show I've personally ever come in contact with because it is so specific to like my humor.
Oh god, it's I like it because it hits on a lot of things that I don't know. It's very random. It'll have kind of like Tim and Eric moments where things are just really crazy and make no sense, but it's always rooted in this kind of like just deep-seated good stand-up comedy
Oh,
humor.
yeah,
And
definitely.
it's
Any of the football bits that
yeah.
they do are just the most honest representation of football today.
Oh yeah, I'm not even a huge football person, but I will have to say my favorite sketch done maybe in my history of living so far is Key and Peele's. East and West College Bowl, where it's basically just like kind of like a college football
Hingle
show.
McCringleberry.
They're going through the roster of these players, and they're saying off their names, and I just love it because even with my limited experience with football, I'm just like all the time. I remember there was a player, like 4 or 5 years ago on the Bears. And God, of course now I can't recall his name. Of course I can't think of his name right now. But they just have like ridiculous names. They just have these crazy names, and you can never like grasp who named their kids this. And just like Key and Peele are going off being like Doug Lester Dunkerchud.
Or like there's a player in specifically I'm thinking of Jaxper. I think it's like Jaxper Probing Cuss the Third. RG3. Come on. There's always a third. Like in every generation of NFL, there's like, I'm the third this. Clay Matthews the third. Robert Griffin the third. Come on, people.
You're just like, oh my God. But yeah, but that show was amazing. And if you haven't seen it, and if you like just straight up amazing comedy, you should totally watch that. But back to the whole Frozen thing.
Yeah.
Basically, my whole thing was after I saw it, basically what they were saying about the misogynistic comments and that it's not there. It succeeds where for me Brave didn't. Where with Brave you had a trailer that showcased like a really amazing archer, warrior, princess. And then the movie was basically Freaky Friday with Scottish accents and bears. It was just like, my mom liked me. Like, I like the fact that she never actually went with a prince. That was cool. I was like, yeah.
That was its one saving grace.
And I mean, it was beautiful. You can't doubt that.
Oh, definitely. Aesthetically, speaking as far as like how she didn't go with the prince, as you said, but there was just so much. She didn't actually do anything positive.
No.
Like, when you look at what she did, she turned her mom... Well, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, but I think it's been out long enough.
It's over a year.
Right. So, like, she turns her mom into a fucking bear. Jesus Christ. And then, like, she's trying to figure out how to fix it. Like, I was assuming, going into this, there's some sort of threat that only she can take care of. There's something where she has to become
archery skills.
Yeah, like she has to become the warrior, the hero everybody needs. Like,
and it was just kind of her being like, like I said, Freaky Friday. It was the same kind of thing where it's like you could only reverse the curse by understanding each other. And just, like she gave that nice speech at the end, but it's just like, I'm sorry, Pixar. You're flashing around these arrows and her on this horse and kicking ass, and then it's like that is all of 5 seconds, and I was very disappointed. So when I saw the trailer for Frozen, I was kind of expecting the same thing of like, oh, it looks pretty, but what am I going to get out of this? Did the exact opposite. The characters were amazing. The character relationships were really interesting. Elsa and Anna are like the main characters. They're sisters. And I love their relationship because it feels very unique for a Disney movie, because it wasn't like, it was one of the few times where someone who is evil wasn't just evil for the sake of being evil. It's not like, I'm an evil queen. Like Elsa is a snow queen, but like, she's just not inherently evil. Like she kind of takes that Miyazaki kind of theme of there's kind of a good and bad to everyone. And I like that it focused on that. There's only one plot element that I was not fond of, that I think could have been written a little better. I'm not going to say it just because this movie's brand new and I don't want to spoilers because it's a pretty big part, but I feel like once people see it, they'll kind of understand, because it's kind of the one part of the movie where you're like, well, that just happened. But otherwise, it's a gorgeous movie. The characters are really enjoyable. The humor is great. It's gorgeous. The songs are really fun. I would totally recommend going and seeing it, because it's one of those things where don't let the hype fool you, because people don't know what they're talking about. People are judging a book by its cover, and it's something totally different. And this comes from somebody who I do not claim to be a Disney fangirl. I will judge them for things. I will not, let them go free of things. I mean, they do things so beautifully, but I'm in no way someone who just likes them because they're Disney or because they're nostalgic. I
Oh,
will
definitely.
for what
I
they do. But also, there's a Mickey Mouse short, and I fucking hate Mickey Mouse. But this is like the only Mickey Mouse short I've ever enjoyed that plays before Frozen. That's also actually pretty gorgeous for like a Mickey Mouse short.
Wait, so you're telling me you didn't enjoy Steamboat Willie and how big of a dick he is in Steamboat Willie?
I mean, uh, I'm in history of animation right now, and so I've watched a lot of those. I've watched Steamboat Willie like 90 times. And it's like I almost like the fact that Mickey was such a dick early on. Like he's just playing sassy little tunes on their teeth and like getting some love from Minnie and stuff. Like I kind of like that better than like later on where there's this kind of era where he becomes like a family icon and he becomes really like personality just void of any personality. He just becomes kind of happy and airbrained and like,
Yeah,
hello,
like
I just like I'm really happy and kind of freaked out sometimes. Like,
for
you
those
know,
of you who are not familiar with the history of Mickey, like a lot of the older Mickeys, like surround the first time Disney was actually animating this, uh, Mickey was essentially like itchy and scratchy, borderline itchy and scratchy. Like it was so violent, so
oh,
violent.
that's the best part. I love I'm not a fan of like older cartoons. I can't say they're really my thing, but I
Hmm.
like watching them because when I was little I watched them a lot. I watched like Felix and Looney Tunes and all that, but what you see in like the 90s and today when they show those on TV, you're not seeing the full thing. They're often cut because a lot of cartoons were meant for adults when they first came
Yeah.
out. And like Felix the Cat, the first Felix cartoon, extremely violent. Not even kidding you. I watched this with my own two eyes in class. Um, Near the end of the first his first cartoon, he gets a cat pregnant, and once he sees that the girl he liked had babies, he goes and he commits suicide. Just ends like just
just
point blank.
just
And that was the humor, and it was one of
yeah.
those where it's like, oh, you see that when you're young, and in the 90s they played it like Saturday morning, and but they cut that out or like they revised it. And the same even with Steamboat Willie, you're not seeing the full thing. There's parts where he's like there's like a baby, like a mother pig feeding her babies like with her little teats on her stomach, and he's just pulling on these babies tails and just like while
Oh fuck.
pulling them. And he's just like hurting everyone and playing animals like accordions, like not even like, oh, that's funny. It's more like it's just like brutal looking.
So fucking metal.
Oh yeah, no, Mickey was brutal, but then he caught wind as like an icon. And then they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
make him nice, and that's the Mickey you see now.
So, just to change gears a little bit, I finally got around to playing a game I've wanted to play because it's like my fucking game. It looks like it's made for me.
And what game is this?
The game that I finally got to play was Injustice: Gods Among Us.
I have yet to play that too, but when I dressed up as Raven for C2E2, that's when it just came out. And everyone's like, "Did you play it?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, they're like, "You're in it." I'm like, I need to play this. How is
Well,
it?
it was. I was actually let down, and a lot of my friends are so into it that own it because they have more time to get into it. Uh, I think the mark of a true fighting game is like the thing that Tekken or Soul Calibur or Marvel vs. Capcom or even Mortal Kombat all have in common is that even though they have completely different feels, if you're good at one of these games, you can be successful at
Yeah.
any of them.
Yeah.
It's
And just for the for people who don't know what Injustice is, it's a DC Comics
mhm,
based fighting game that was released
yeah,
like this year, a little bit earlier this year,
yeah.
uh,
I
for
mean,
PS3 and Xbox, I believe.
yeah. I mean, visually amazing. This
Yeah.
game, graphics, awesome. The biggest problem I had with it was it's all combo based.
I do
Yeah,
not
it is
like
like,
those games.
I mean, you do have basic attacks, but and I was kind of playing with a guy who he's one of these guys who will stop the game and then look in the combos list and
Oh god,
spam one combo.
because it's like the only thing they could remember out
Yeah,
of like the
yeah,
90
and it was just
combos.
like, so like we played that game. Uh, I didn't care for the fighting engine so much. Plus, movement is next to nothing. You have to dash just to get to one place or another. Like, you can't just move away successfully, which bothers me
It is kind of weird.
immensely. Um, the biggest problem I had, though, was like, there were just characters like Green Arrow. If somebody chooses to be Green Arrow, you're gonna lose.
That's that's what happens with the archers. Like in Marvel vs. Capcom, like I mean, you can play
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, but you know, what the fuck is that gonna do for you? It's always sad. That's kind of usually what it seems to be with video games. Like archers kind of get the shitty end of the stick. Like, I mean, I like archers in like Final Fantasy Tactics because you have like long range, but every other kind of game, like if it's not an RPG, being an archer is just shitty.
No, what I'm saying is if somebody chooses to be Green Arrow, you're going to lose. Like, if you are fighting Green Arrow, he will
He's
stand the fuck back and
Mhm.
spam you with arrows, and there is absolutely nothing you can do.
Really?
Green Arrow and Aquaman are unbeatable characters.
Out of all the characters,
Like,
usually the
Aquaman.
long distance person is the person who like just is no good.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. And then all of a sudden, like, well, Aquaman, he's got his trident, and it's got stupid range. Just stupid amounts of range.
Is he like fucking Keelik in Soul Calibur with his
Uh-huh.
fucking pole that like reaches to like your
The
insides?
heavens.
Oh.
But then, right after we played that, because we got rather frustrated, we switched over to Soul Calibur 5, which
Oh,
is
so
like, I love Soul Calibur, but personally speaking, I didn't care for this one as much as I did
no,
like
5 isn't.
4 or
3's the best by far to me.
3.
2 and 3 are the best.
Two is my favorite. 3 I like because of the introduction of like the character creation.
The Solomel. But I love it because it's always funny
Sasolomel.
to me because when they introduced character creation in Soul Calibur 3, I loved making random characters because the like the models in Soul Calibur are just notoriously really detailed, really beautiful. They're very elaborate clothing.
And then
when
the creative
and
characters.
then you get the creative characters. They I always say that they look like extras in Shrek. They just look like they're wearing peasant garb, like just one blanket color peasant garb, no detail, and they're just
Yeah.
wearing like little like ogre vests and like they could just randomly have like bright green hair or something. Like they were just ugly as shit,
Yeah,
but
they
it was
really
like
were.
hilarious.
But yeah, so like we're playing Soul Calibur 5, and well, it still stayed true to the game mechanics like of any Soul Calibur game, but it was rather kind of boring. But this guy who was spamming the combos in Injustice starts spamming Soul Calibur combos, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. You are taking the low road, and if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna take the low road. I'm playing Maxi.
Fucking
Like,
yeah, no, that you can't break his combos.
you can't
He
break
always
Maxi's combos, and they got rid of Young Sung.
they did?
Yeah, in Soul Calibur
Dude.
5, there's no Chinese sword character. There's like,
I think you're right. Oh yeah, you're right. Because yeah, Soul Calibur 5 was the one. I d- No, because I think actually the last one I played was 4. Because I don't think I've played 5. Because I remember I dropped off on 5 because that's the one where they replaced Taki. And when you replace my main girl Taki, shit is
wait,
going
I
down
thought she
because
was
like
in this. They had somebody with her fighting moves.
yeah, but that was what bothered me because they had this like blonde ninja lady who was cute, but like I was like, why are you getting rid of Taki to have someone who's basically Taki but just like a different skin? And like Taki, of course, she's super iconic for the series with her and Ivy because of like their boobs and like she's just like in a skin tight suit.
Well,
And
skin
like
tight suit, and then like Ivy with her BDSM overtones.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they're never gonna leave like Ivy, and I was like, I felt they shouldn't have touched
Mhm.
Taki because I'm like, I love her. She was there since like day one, and I'm like, no, you do not mess
I
with
feel
her.
there are two characters who are always going to be in Soul Calibur: Ivy and Nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't have Nightmare, you don't have Soul Calibur because that's like his sword. But
yeah. Well,
uh,
Soul Edge.
Soul
Mm.
Edge, yes.
Soul Calibur is
I've played,
usually with Siegfried.
I I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent on that game. Like probably more than like probably up there with like Ocarina of Time and like
Oh God.
Pokemon games. Like I've spent ungodly amount of hours playing Soul
I think
Calibur.
I think the biggest letdown I had was actually with Soul Calibur 3, despite me loving the shit out of that game. Uh, the moments leading up, or the months leading up to Soul Calibur 3, it was announced or rumored that Dante from Devil May Cry was going to be
Yeah.
the guest character. And I'm like, that's my shit. I love Devil May Cry, and we also have fucking, I don't know, everyone. And in the last games, you have like two really good guest characters and one that was like,
Oh yeah. We had like Hey
Hachi.
Hachi. Hey fucking yeah, I like how that's like the one that like the PS2 got was Hey Hachi. I
like,
was like, oh thank you. I really
really?
wanted him.
What about
They should have
out of
just brought all of
Tekken?
Tekken over. They should have just made it Tekken, like for PS2. Because I'm like, you already have like Yoshimitsu and stuff. Like,
Seriously.
just bring the rest of them
What? Well,
over.
I
Like,
mean, it
that's
doesn't make
cool.
sense. If you already have a Tekken character, why do you want another one?
Yeah, and it's like I feel like Tekken's one of those series where it's like I don't know. People play it and have played it because it's something they just play in their childhood, but I don't ever feel like it's anybody's like go-to favorite.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're like a Street Fighter person or like a
It,
like a verse Capcom SNK versus,
mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
You like I feel like you're one of those you like those kind of ones. Like people are like, yeah, I play Tekken. I'm okay with it, but like I don't ever feel like anybody's like Tekken's my shit. Like I think people would go to Dead or Alive. Like I feel like that would be
Oh
even
yeah.
more iconic with certain characters than like Tekken. Like Tekken is just kind of
Really?
clunky and weird and like
Yeah.
word.
So, but like Soul Calibur 3 or Soul Calibur 2 had like Link, who awesome guest character to have, despite me hating the controls for the GameCube.
He probably like sold that game solely for the
Oh,
GameCube. Just
really?
having Link, it's like a huge
Realistically,
deal.
yeah. And then Xbox had my favorite guest character being Spawn.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Unfortunately, Xbox is just the worst system. I guess I think that's like the only reason anybody got that game on Xbox was
Yeah, it
because
was
they could
just
get
fun.
McFarlane to let him use Spawn because they have another McFarlane game in all the systems of or McFarlane character Necrid.
Necrid, yeah, I was about to
Necrid
say.
was he was fucking monstrous.
Yeah, he was huge. But like he's one of those characters where it's like he was so huge if you didn't know how to use him. Like
Oh,
it
I
just
loved using him. I would rather have Necrid in the series than Astaroth.
yeah, Astaroth. He's a fucking oh god, that guy's huge.
So fucking broken though.
Oh my gosh. What I've been playing lately, I've been while everybody else is playing the new Zelda for the 3DS, I made a terrible decision.
Oh
And
God.
I bought Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels on the Virtual Console for the 3DS. And for those of you who don't know, um, the Lost Levels are probably the most notoriously hard of any of the original Mario games. I heard rumor, I don't know if this is true. This is what someone told me the other day, that it was kind of like the actual Super Mario Brothers 2 instead of like what actually was Super Mario 2 with the weird like dun, 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 like with a little floaty peach and everything.
How'd that go?
Yeah,
This
and it had
week
like
on Panda Bros,
yeah.
Stephanie serenades everyone.
And everyone that was their show.
Yeah.
And I just like I don't know that should how every show should end. But basically this game is so hard. Everyone already knows how frustrating the original Mario games are. this is worse because it's kind of like the level designs are meant to fuck with you. Um, Basically, they'll make you like they just throw flying Koopas everywhere. You're like jumping on one block and like over a giant abyss, and you can't make one false misstep, or you have to start all the way from world one again, and it's just awful. The only way I'm getting through with it is like you can save anywhere because of the virtual console. Otherwise, I would still be on like 1-1 because this game is it's intense and it's like I paid $5 for it thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun. I love Super Mario Bros. And I can't stop playing it, but I think I like legitimately need to go to like anger management because for me, I'm a very calm person, but when you put me in front of this game, I will scream ungodly things.
Yeah, there was yeah, I was over at my friend's house, and my friend, your friend too, Christos, and a mutual acquaintance from him, Kate. They were playing Super Mario Brothers. God, I can't remember which one it was, but they were just broken good. They both just beat the shit out of that game. They are
Oh,
just like if
he's one of the best Mario players. Like, put,
I,
put me to shame all the
oh
time.
my god, like Christos, it, he is so good. Like they are for every amount of good that Christos is at that game, Kate is equally just as good. Like they are at savant levels. I cannot tell who is better. I don't think there's one who is better.
It's kind of like miraculous watching someone who's good at Mario, like any of the Marios, because like people who are really in like good with speed runs and stuff, like the people who just like study this shit, like I love Mario, and it's one of those things where if I go to anyone's house, and for some reason, when anybody has an SNES out, the Super Mario All Stars is always in it, and it makes me so happy because like as soon as I see that, like it's immediately what I want to do. I could be going to their house to like pick up $1 million in pet puppies, and if I saw an SNES, I'd be like, sorry, I'd rather play that right now. Like it's amazing and it's so fun, but when you get people who are really into it playing it, it's like it almost ruins the fun, but it's also kind of magical.
Yeah. Uh, there was like for example, we were playing the original Mario Kart right
Oh,
before we were playing Mario Brothers,
oh God.
and Kate, this is the game where she is like obviously superior to anyone I've ever seen in my life play this game, because usually when somebody comes in and says, "Oh, I am the best at this game," they're just like, "Oh, they are better than their small group of friends, and they're gonna be
Yeah.
amazed at the easiest." No, she came in. She's like, "No, I'm the best at this game," and she was. Like there was, she would lap people twice,
Let
and it's
me
not like
ask
we're
you this.
bad gamers.
Did she play either the Ghost track or Rainbow Road and succeed?
Ghost
Because
track.
the
We
Ghost, oh my God, I played that the other day at like I had like a lovely Friendsgiving last Saturday. It was amazing, and there was an SNES and drinks to be had, and it was
yeah.
wonderful. And we whipped out the Mario Kart, and I we played the Ghost level, and it's like after one lap, we're all like, this was a bad idea.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what were we thinking?
we actually made a pact to not play the Rainbow Road, not because of difficulty, but years ago. For those of you who don't know, I suffered concussions from football. So like just looking at that gives me migraines. I actually used to have seizures.
Oh God. I just
Like,
imagine you like Mabel from Gravity Falls when she eats the fun dip. Like you're just like on the like on the back of a
just on the
dolphin.
dolphin with the beastie ass arms. Just car
Onward,
noises.
Seoshima. Oh my gosh. I
Oh
cannot
man.
wait for that show to
That
come back.
that is a show. For those of you who do not watch Gravity Falls, you're just making poor life decisions.
Yeah. I think the running theme slash moral of this episode is we have really good taste in things and you should like them too.
Yeah. And if
Because
you
like
don't, you're
you should
terrible.
have like a little notepad next to you that's like if you haven't checked these things off your list, you gotta watch Key and Peele, you gotta watch Gravity Falls, go see Frozen, play Soul Calibur 2 and 3, and then you're
Yeah.
gonna have a good life. I mean,
Exactly.
that's kind of the moral of this.
That is the moral of this. And you know what? I'd say that we've had a very successful second episode, and I'm gonna get a little mushy here. I can't wait to make more episodes because this is so fun. We have awesome, like what, 65 people who like this so far.
And some people on my Tumblr.
Yay,
But hey,
Tomes!
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Every person who listens is awesome, and it makes us really happy because we just want to talk and have fun, and hopefully, as things go on, we'll have more awesome conversations and get
yeah.
you guys involved.
And
Maybe have some other people on to shoot the shit with us.
definitely, actually, I'm hoping that eventually, further down the road, we could do more things for the fans, like have a little contests, give little fan
Mhm.
shout outs,
But I
and
mean, we're already starting that trend because, like I said, we're throwing a contest
yes,
to name our amazing biker Cleopatra sport woman,
mhm.
and we need her to give you a name so we can draw you a picture, and it'll be amazing. Because right now we don't have t-shirts or swag, so we
Oh,
can
we
only give
don't.
you our art. So I mean,
Yep.
but
Oh, did you just hint at a possibility of T-shirts and swag?
the future
The
is
future, the future of bros.
the future of bros. It's gonna blossom into something beautiful.
All right. Well, as always, I'm Chris. You can check out my Tumblr at BuddyV.
And I am Stephanie. You can check my art blog at Octorock's Art Blog. I'll put the links down on the bottom of the video because it's kind of lengthy. But we do
Yeah.
awesome art. We post a lot of stuff. Check out our Facebook page, the Panda Bros
Mhm.
Facebook. And like I said, check out for our contest and have a really awesome Thanksgiving and or Hanukkah.
Yeah. Thanks, Hanukkah. Bye, everyone.